In this video, you're going to have the pleasure of meeting my friend Alistair, who I was staying with. And he starts off in the morning with a super excellent smoothie of carrots, blueberries, beetroot, apples, grapes, avocados, all organic, all sorts of goodness in there that I can't remember everything at the time, but it was excellent and very, very filling. At the end of the video, you see me eat like a late lunch and then nothing else, because I'm heading off on the train. I'm traveling to Spain, so I travel all evening, don't eat anything until I get home at about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I had a soup when I got home at 3 in the morning, but I didn't video that because I was just so tired and I didn't even think about it. But anyway, enjoy the video. Here's a mid-morning snack. Just stopped off at the health food store to get this before continuing with our tour. Enjoy. I'm St. Albans with my good friend Alistair, and we've just come across this old church.
Well, this is actually called the Clock Tower, and it's the centre of St. Albans, and it was built in 1356. And as you can see, I'm around 5'10", and people were pretty short in those days. You know, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? One of the oldest surviving clocks in Britain, albeit it's had several new faces and several new clock handles. The mechanics of the clock are the same as when it was first constructed. Yeah. So it's a really old clock.
This is older than America, right?
Oh yeah, this is older than the USA. The USA had not been, you know,
there wasn't one brick laid in the US when this stood here.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see how old some of these buildings are.
Yeah.
Like that, where that Thai square is, you see how you can see where the building actually bows. Yeah. And that's again, that was built around 1400. That building. Mm-hmm. It's all Grade 1 listed. With all the houses down there, Grade 1. And it's the oldest school in terms of the building. It's the oldest school in the world. Right. It's not the oldest school in the world, but the building itself is the oldest. Yeah. Because again, the brickwork of the school goes back to the 1400s. Mm-hmm. So there are not many schools that can say no, they were built in the 1400s.
For the see through here, kind of?
Yeah. So this is a private garden for the originally built for the bishops and the archbishop, who was in residence here.
Nice.
But now it's open to the public.
Lovely place you live, Alistair.
It's really nice.
I wouldn't give up the beach for it, but you know.
In fact, funny you should mention that. St. Albans is the furthest away from the sea. Any place in the whole of Britain. It's 70 miles in any direction to get to the sea.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's the furthest you can get from the sea in this country.
Surely, like, somewhere in the Midlands is much further away from the sea, no?
No.
That's crazy.
It's the furthest you can get.
That's crazy shit, man.
Yeah. It's such a narrow country, isn't it? Think how narrow it is.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact mileage, it's 70 something miles. Just over 70. So this is really interesting. So the brickwork you can see here is much more up to date. But if you go down that end there, yeah, the bricks there, in fact, if you see the orange bricks, they're kiln bricks from the Roman times. Yeah. So they were actually reclaimed from the city of Verulamium. So right. In St. Albans, the name it was called before St. Alban was killed by the Romans was Verulamium. So when the Romans were here, it was actually the capital of the Roman capital of England. Right. A lot of people think it was Londinium, which was just a port, which became London, and some people think that it was Colchester, for example, which is where all the posh, kind of well-off Romans tended to go. But the army was based here, and all the generals, the centurions, etc. They were based here, and the Romans built a massive city about a mile down the hill here, and when the Normans, when William the Conqueror conquered England, in the 1080s he built this cathedral. And what they did is they used all the orange bricks over there.
Yep.
They got those from the city. They were reclaimed from the Roman city, and so they are, those orange bricks you can see there.
Yep.
Are around 2,000 years old.
Holy shit.
And the thing is that the Normans were a really sophisticated, advanced civilization.
Yeah.
And they couldn't work out how to kiln bricks. The art of kilning square bricks was lost until a couple of hundred years after the Normans, when there were other ways of kilning bricks that developed. But it was something that was lost when the Roman civilization fell.
Yeah.
They lost the art of kilning bricks.
Right. Yeah, because then the Dark Ages came then.
Yeah, the Dark Ages. But so that whole section that you can see there, that's the oldest section of the cathedral.
Right.
So that's that goes back to the 1080s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's nearly 1,000 years old.
Wow.
So pretty amazing.
Cool. So where we go now?
We can go in.
Go through, yeah.
Let's go inside the cathedral. Yeah. It's pretty epic inside. I think the thing that makes it epic, I mean, there are bigger, grander cathedrals in the world, but not with as much history as this. There's so much depth to the history of this place.
What's the flag on top?
That's the flag of St Andrew, and so the reason that they've got that is Alban came from Scotland, and Alban came from Scotland to live here, and he was involved with the rebels, so the people who were against the Romans, and the story is that he was arrested by the Romans and tortured intensively for many, many days.
This shit's massive.
Yeah, it's big. And there you've got probably the most famous Bishop of St Albans, Robert Runcie. He's buried there, and he was the Archbishop of Canterbury. So they've actually had a few bishops here that have gone on to become the Archbishop of Canterbury, which is the most senior
position in the country.
Clergy position in this country. Yeah. But yeah, so Alban was taken after being tortured for weeks on end by the Romans, and refusing. He didn't squeal on any of his friends. And they beheaded him at the top of Holywell Hill, and the legend is that his head rolled all the way down the hill. It's a very long, steep hill. And then when his head, the legend is that when his head landed at the bottom of the hill, a spring came up. If you want to believe that. But we used to live, our apartment was, 50 yards away from where that apparently happened. Yeah. And that was when the Romans, as soon as the Romans left, they renamed this place St Albans after him. Yeah. Oh, this is the school over here. So this is the oldest school in terms of brick construction buildings. Yeah. This is the oldest school, certainly in Britain. Yeah. And I'm not sure if there's an older one anywhere.
Incredible.
So it goes back to the 1400s. And it's a very successful school. They've got a very good reputation. They've got get a lot of good students.
Secondary school.
Yes, a secondary school. Yeah. Really cool.
Cool.
And here we come. The main entrance is around here. There you go. It costs £5,000 a day to keep this cathedral open.
Can we go in or not?
If you want to. I'll put some money into it. so there's a whole other section beyond the end there. There's another. There's a cathedral within a cathedral.
Yeah.
Very chilled area,
Isn't it? To be so close to London.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. And then if you go down here, it gets even better.
Yeah.
It's the second oldest pub in Britain.
Right.
Apparently the oldest one is in Leicester. Okay, so this is Ye Old Fighting Cocks. It's the second oldest pub in Britain. Apparently there's one up in Leicestershire that's apparently a few years older. And the building is Grade 1 listed. And the name's a bit controversial these days. I've had a few, how should we say, PC people trying to get them to change the name back. And I suppose, as I was joking earlier, it'd be the equivalent to having a pub in America called, you know, the Big Pussy or something like that. But anyway, the name stands, and apparently the ale is really good in there. I don't drink, but apparently the ale's really good in there. Yep. There's a bunch of Canadian geese that live here that don't bother migrating anymore. They just stay here.
Yeah, it's like, why move? It's so cool.
There's a whole bunch that do migrate, but every year a few more stay behind.
Yeah.
I know. So they're like, I know they're the procrastinating geese. I don't know. They've recently made it illegal to feed the bread to the birds.
Yeah, which isn't good for them, right?
Not only is it's not good for them, it's not good for the lake.
Right.
It's just bad all round.
Yeah. Yeah, better than give them seeds and things, no?
Yeah, yeah. So you can, I believe, purchase some seeds which you can feed them. And the other thing is, people would not give them the worst bread possible. They're kind of cheap, white, mother's pride kind of bread, which is full of sugar and.
You have all these birds with gluten intolerance. Yeah. All these gluten intolerant birds walking around bloated. Oh.
Yeah, it's just not good for them. I mean, that's the other thing about gluten is that people think because they eat bread and they don't have any symptoms that therefore it's fine. But actually it's putting a lot of stress on your digestive system.
Yeah.
Because you are eating literally glue.
Slows you down.
Yeah, if you get a pot, you know, like I said to you before, if you go and buy an industrial tin of glue and you put your hand in and you pull out a big lump of glue, that's what you get in a loaf of bread. It's distributed amongst that loaf that binds it. And you know, common sense dictates that can't be healthy, can it? You know, it's the same as, you know, all the science disputes they have about the MMR jab, where, you know, they dispute all the science one way and the other, but actually if you just sit in common sense corner and think measles, mumps, rubella, all highly toxic, no legal testing requirements, under law and regulation, there's no you know, you have to have drugs tested for toxicity. You don't have to, but we know they're toxic. They're going to be toxic. And you put all three of them at once into an 18-month-old child, which has a massively underdeveloped immune system. Just pure common sense dictates that can't be good. You know, it's just...
Common sense is very uncommon, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah. We'll have to come up with another word, won't we? Because common sense is an oxymoron, isn't it?
It's actually uncommon sense.
Yeah, it's so that the state, it's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
So we're going to have to invent a new word. Anyone got an idea?
Well, I think uncommon sense.
I think you should run a competition on your...
Uncommon sense, no?
It's
not common sense, it's uncommwn sense. Right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, okay, you've won the competition. Congratulations.
Just bumped into these weird guys in the park. I don't know who they are.
Hello.
Strange guys.
Strange guys with celery.
Eating celery and hummus. Yeah, so lunchtime today is, where do we go? Emma, Marks and Spencer's Finest. Got a big salad there, this nutty grain, vegetable salad there as well. That's gonna mix all this in. Then a big tub of hummus. We mix a whole lot together, and that is a decent lunch there. And we'll do something spectacular for us, a flip or something amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know what, sure.
Before he eats his hummus.
Even though I have my tough trousers on, which I should never do a flip in, because this is Matthew Armstrong asking me, and because he's like a YouTube superhero that is now in real life, I've got to do something. Okay, so here we go. Get ready, you've been framed.
Wow! Awesome.
Ta-da!